Hey guys, welcome back. Drip Coach here with Drip and Fawn for Probably, where we don't trust, we verify, and operate with integrity and transparency. In today's video, we'll be showing a clip, a framework. Yeah, just a framework actually. So it's coming from Crypto Banter's separate channel called Crypto Insider. It's ran, and basically he put together this Google sheet that you can use to figure out how much Bitcoin you need to retire. And spoiler, as you can see from the title, how you can retire on just $92. This is the amount of Bitcoin you have to put aside every week if you are currently the age of 30 and want to retire by age 60. So I'm going to show you the actual calculator, and I'm not going to link it. I want you to actually come out to this channel and get it because that's where I got it from. So I don't want to claim that I'm using his stuff or stealing it and then re-linking it. Definitely go out to his channel, take a look, but it is rather simple and interesting to understand. I'm just happy it's playing in the background and give some context. So basically what he said is, if you're familiar with economics and some of these different calculators they use, there's this thing called the 25x rule to determine how much you'll need to have available when you retire. Basically said you need, I think it's like 25 times your income that's invested by the time you hit your retirement age. And he's put this calculator together in regards to that, as well as what the future inflation rates will be, as well as projecting, of course, what Bitcoin will be by that time. So obviously this is all about a crypto channel, and he's all about Bitcoin and whatnot. And, from my travels and leaving the US and now currently in Colombia and spending 9 years out in Cambodia, it's all about being able to retire early, as that acronym FIRE states, financially independent, retired early. So this will help you figure that out, especially if you're going to be doing it in other countries like myself. So let's take a look at the spreadsheet, what it looks like. It's really, really simple. So again, you'll go out to his website, get this, and you're going to fill in essentially these things on this front page. The current price of Bitcoin right now, which is like 117, if I'm not mistaken, 116. Let's go through this in real time. We'll put 116.5. And then you can put in the inflation rate. So he's put it at 3%, which is based off of like CPI data. It might be closer to 7 or 10. It also depends on where you live. Then you can also change the BTC outperformance inflation. So this number is fillable. And what it will do down here in the nominal growth is add that inflation adjustment rate. So right now, if you're familiar with BTC, it's been performing a CAGR rate of about 60% over the last 12 years. Michael Saylor says that it'll flatline out at 30. There really is no way to know what this is going to be, but obviously you can put in conservative amounts or aggressive amounts. So like right now it's been averaging 60. So let's just go with a 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. Just for shits and giggles. And assuming BTC price in 10 years, so this is all of the calculations he has back here. This is not stuff you're supposed to change, but Rand's been in the game for quite some time, so we can just kind of leave that as is, assume his calculations are correct. And then here you put in what your current age is. So again, if you're 30 years old and you want to retire in 20 years, you put your retirement age of 50, or let's just say, for example, 40, just to be conservative. It'll adjust that to say your years left to retire is 10. And then years we spend in retirement, this is when you believe you will kick the bucket. So you would retire at 40, you'd have 40 more years left. He was also talking about Brian Johnson, who believes, at this stage in our life, or currently the humans in existence now, will experience a kind of a bifurcation where they're able to extend their life for every one more year that they're living. Or basically, you'll be able to stay at net zero. He believes we will be the first generation or first set of humans to see a human live forever, quote unquote. That's what he's trying to do. So let's just go with the theory that you're going to live for 60 more years after retirement instead of the age 100. And then you're spending in retirement, 60. Allow you to go to 60? No, actually, it won't let you go to 100. So it's probably only allowed you to go to 59. Oh, that's just calculated. So we'll put back to 40. And then your annual expenses. So this is going to be what you believe you'll need to have available to spend each year. And remember, it will adjust for inflation, and it does go up every year based off of inflation. So I don't know what the U.S. necessary amount for retirement is. I believe C said 60 is based off of the current data. And then you'll see the annual expenses at retirement. So this is with the cost inflation. So 10 years from now, at 60,000 will be about 80,000 due to inflation. So the total retirement that you need is $265,000 as the initial investment that you'll need when you retire. You need to have this amount of money available. Now, that would be hard to save right now, like $265,000. You got 10 years to do it. You got to basically save $26,000 a year out of your whatever your current salary is. That is a large chunk of change. That's $2,000 and some change a month. Very difficult for people to save. But you can see that amount in Bitcoin is only 0.032. So that's actually, and that's based off of the current value of Bitcoin up here at B19. And the inflation rate of what Bitcoin will be by the time you retire. So all you actually need to do is invest $14 a week, and that will get you there. That makes it seem a lot more manageable. So like to have this $265,000, you're only actually doing $14 a week, or what is that? $56 a month. We'll call it $60 a month for the next 10 years. That's $720 a year. And due to the inflation rate or debasement of dollars and how the compound interest of Bitcoin's outperformance on that inflation rate goes up, you'll basically have $265,000 worth of Bitcoin by simply doing $14 a week. Like, how insane is that? That's awesome. Makes it very manageable for anybody. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at this. Like if you were going to live like myself, side of the US. So if that's the US, then we can easily say half of that is living abroad. And that is living like a king. That's essentially saying you're going to spend $2,500 a month. And a lot of these places I've been to, you can get away with it for $1,000 to $1,500. But this would be really nice. So $30,000, still retire in 10 years, but you're going to live abroad. Then you only got to save $7 a month. I'm sorry, $7 a week. If you can't figure out how to get $7 a week to retire, then you're shit out of luck. And what he was showing on his channel is, I think, for the 60-year-old that, wants to have 30 years left to retire, 40 and the $60,000. I think this is where the $92 a week came in. I thought I had broke the calculator, but actually what ended up happening is that because of the compound interest rate at these figures here and the rounding that's here, it's so small, the amount of Bitcoin you need, that have to actually expand this number of zeros. The total number of Bitcoin is 0.1003897, and you would need to invest a third of a penny a week. So what is that? 1/3 of a penny times 4. So like 1.5 cents a month. we'll call it 2 cents a month is what you would need with these figures. And of course, we can be much more conservative than Michael's Saylor, 30% flat, and see what that comes out to. You're 30 years old, and we want to say you're 30 years in retirement. There you go again. It's still 21 cents a week or $1 a month, essentially. So you can see how much more realistic your retirement goals are when you focus on staying humble and stacking stats. Like, this makes it super duper easy for anyone to get started. So again, I highly recommend you go out and check out Rand's channel. Hear how you can retire on just $92, Crypto Insider, and play with the calculator yourself. Maybe it'll give you some inspiration to how to stay humble and stack sats. Now remember, the goal for this is to do this weekly, put it on autopilot, set it and forget it. And even better if you can do it daily so you catch better buying rates. But weekly is still going to get you some pretty good DCA amounts. And this right here will allow you to figure out a number that you can work with based on your goals. And it's really all about creating a plan and kind of sticking towards that plan. Like, I realized when I was back in the military, when I first got in, they had guys come around talking to us about mutual funds and 401k. I think it was just mutual funds at that time, and even the stock market. It's like, hey, take a little bit of your salary and put it into this. And they allow you to do allotments, they call it, where that money comes straight out of your monthly paycheck, or bi-weekly at that stage. And it would go to these things like insurance or stocks and all that. And I did that initially, but then I stopped it, because you're just a young kid. You don't know any better. You don't really understand long-term investments, and you'd much rather just YOLO, live for the moment. And looking back, it's like, damn, if I had just left that in there, fast forward 15, 20 years, it's like, I'd be sitting in a much different position. So don't make that mistake again, because this is an opportunity that's only going to come around literally once in a lifetime, because the cost of getting into Bitcoin as each day progresses, that cost, that entry ticket gets more and more expensive. So take advantage of this now, run this calculator, figure out what you need to allocate, and then put it on autopilot, and or double it up, do it even more aggressive or something. But you'll see how much more realistic it is by just playing with these numbers to get you closer to your goal. All right, that's all I got for this video. Smash that HBO special, help further out. Like, subscribe, comment down below. Until next time, live daily and achieve your impossible.